Nah, what's good? What's good? I can't, for some reason, it's not letting me play the intro video. So we'll try to rock with it the best we can. We'll do what we can here. Let's see here. Wonder why that's not playing. That doesn't make any sense. Share. Let me see. Present video file. Make sure I'm good to go here. Give me 1 second. And I'm just wondering why my intro is not up here. That doesn't make any sense. Where's my intro? Huh. There we go. All right, gentlemen, you see the title. You see what we're trying to do here. I need about 350. All right, anyway. But welcome to the stream.
You are now listening to the No News Podcast. Weapons free, mainly forced, authorized.
All right, so I got to drop a couple things ahead of the election on Tuesday night. First thing I want to do is I want to go to my my screen here. I got to clear something up real quick. Let's see here. Where are we at? We're going to share this window. Let me see where it's at. Here we go. And we're going to share. All right. The first thing I want to clear up is that I did a live stream on this a couple months ago talking about the bald eagle, Wigatron, whatever you want to call a synthetic Jesus, whatever you want to call her, right? This chick has been on YouTube. And I think that some of us should probably forward the information to that reporter that got her axed the first time. So this is the name of a channel that she did before. That channel got axed because I think it was tied to her account. So when they came through and violated her the second or third time, that was the end of it. Took her 100,000 subs, whatever she was trying to do on YouTube, right off of YouTube, which was great. You know what I'm saying? She violated the rules. All she had to do was probably wait for a review or something like that, or whatever. So once I found out that she got axed, I went to her Patreon. So y'all don't have to. Just to see if she was gone for good and see if she was talking about it. Now, here's what I noticed, and I did this in the video that got deleted. Let me show you where that video is. This is the video I did a couple months ago. This video got taken down by YouTube because I was talking about Mitch Frumpy things, as well as Cynthia G, because they both got the axe around the same time. So when I go to, let me see if I can see the analytics. I had to mark it private. You know, you got struck down already. But I went ahead and did it, made it private, right? Let's see if I can show you when I put it up here. Let's see. It's not going to show me. Okay. But yeah, like I said, this was months ago. So basically, what this individual was doing, this was back in November 2023. We are now a whole year later. This bitch has been on YouTube the entire time. So I want to show you what she's been doing. So what she does is the channel you see now, Cynthia at Cynthia G84, has been up here on YouTube. And what she does is she'll come on here and drop a video or the link to a video or whatever on Patreon and funnel her folks to this video. So the first thing I want you to see, because I'm gonna show this again because I don't want to show the other video. It got taken down. I don't want another strike. So what she did is, this is that channel. Cynthia G 84, 64. It was at 50,000 when I first showed this. So it's grown about 14,000, maybe 15,000. So this channel has been out for a while. This is one of her older channels. So let's go to her about section. And I can show you where this thing came about. Joined September 26, 2009. So this is one of her older channels. This is not the channel that she had 100,000 subs on, as you can see. She still has the same Twitter links, Black Diamond, the same GoFundMe for channel support. We can go there and show you this is the exact same GoFundMe that was up when she got axed the first time. So this is where she goes. She posted this shit for whatever reason. Look how like this motherfucker gotta be bald. Gotta be. But anyway, you see her links right back to Patreon, Axe, whatever. This channel is gone. If I'm not mistaken. Yep, that account is gone. I believe it was tied to her previous channel. So that channel is gone. So this chick has been sitting here playing around on YouTube for the longest. And look, what she's doing is she's been testing the waters to see if anybody will recognize that she's back on YouTube or if any of the haters would come out the woodworks and axe her channel again. Now, when Tommy shows his face anywhere, he gets axed immediately. I think she deserves the same treatment. Now let's look at some of these live streams that's up here. That's here for the public. Because before on her private ones, she wasn't showing her face. She would be talking, maybe have an image of her in the background, but she wasn't showing her face. It wasn't a live video. It was none of that. But now she's just testing the waters. And if we want to see if this channel is monetized, let's see what we got here. And this is just a brief overview before I jump into the topic I want to jump into, which is going to be Diverting Hate, Volume 4. I'm tripping. So I want to give a precursor to it because I know the brothers are going to slice and dice that thing like crazy. So let's see. Let's see if this channel is monetized. All right, jumping down here. I guess them Patreon checks ain't cutting it. I guess her Patreon membership. Let's see how many people she got. Sometimes it tells you, sometimes it doesn't. How many people are subscribed to your Patreon? Like I've seen it pop up here and there. Let's see. Let's look at her membership. Free tier. This is what I clicked on just so I can get a glimpse into what the hell she's doing. Nobody's paying $30 a month to look at that face or hear that damn voice. You have to be seriously desperate to look at that or listen to it. And she's still talking the same way, calling us bandits and this, that, and the third. But when you go to some of her videos, the language is a little bit different. Like it's dumbed down on YouTube, but in Patreon, she's calling you dust bandits, bussies, and everything else. So this was 4 years ago, 3 weeks ago. Okay, cool. 3 weeks ago. Got it. 7 days ago. So she up here playing this game like she's not on YouTube, but for the people that's in the know, oh, she's back on YouTube. Look at her damn look at her Patreon. This was 3 days ago. But when you come over here to YouTube, 7 days. Look at her playlist. Nothing in her playlist. Nothing on the live. Except something she posted 3 days ago, 3 weeks ago. Go to her regular videos, same thing. I called welfare to get black men back in what? This is their response. I called welfare to get black men back in the home. What the that shit doesn't even make any sense. That don't make any sense. At all. At all. All right. But go back over here. Let's see what we come up with. Upgrade unlock. I guarantee you, if you were to buy this, you're going to find that video. Let's look at some more of her posts. So like for some of these on the free tier, Copy it 5 days ago. Did you see that in her catalog? Nobody saw that in her catalog, right? Watch this. Do, 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 do. Why are you fucking with me right now? Sometimes you can reverse click these, go backwards. And there you go. Slight loophole. 5 days ago. But on the other screen, it didn't show you anything, right? Look, this is what I was talking about, that whole unlisted thing. Unlisted live streams. The only way you'll know this stuff is happening is if you go to her Patreon and find this out. But we're gonna put the kibosh on this damn channel as well, because she's still doing the same old hate speech. Let's see if I can speed this up a little bit. I know y'all don't want to hear this shit. And you can't come after me for fair use because, hey, guess what? You're not supposed to be on YouTube to begin with. It's like you calling the cops on a drug dealer because he robbed you. So here we go. Same old voice. She's not back to full form yet, showing her face. She's just testing the waters to see what happens. And I'm pretty sure if those videos go unflagged of her showing her face, she's going to continue on. I promise she's going to continue on. Like this one right here. Showing her face again. Now the brothers talked about this last week. That she's back on YouTube. She's been back. She's been back. You know, I even let brothers know via phone call conversations that she had been back on YouTube. All right, I just wanted your brothers to see this. And hey, what's up, Cortez? I just want brothers to see this and make sure you are on guard, because with Wigatron coming back into the mix around, she's going to try to slide her ass in here around the time that this whole election is happening. But anyway, I'm done with this chick. Yep, back on YouTube. That channel is monetized according to Social Blade, but she's not making as much as she used to back in the day. See, in order for your videos to make money, they got to be public. So she popped back in here for the $5 or whatever. She might as well do OnlyFans, but nobody wants to see that shit either. All right, so let's close this out. Let's get let me see here. Let me get the drive up here. Let me pull up Diverting Hate. Let me get the volume 4 out here. Bear with me, because that's what we're here for. We're going to jump into this volume 4, right? Do. All right, here we go. Coming right up. And bam. There we go. Diverting Hate volume 4. This is what we wanted to show on here. And hopefully I got the whole window. Close that. Oh man. For some reason, I'm sorry to expose y'all to this individual, but trying to get this window right. Man, where are you going? All right, here we go. All right, so as brothers alluded to in the past, we've already looked through this whole Diverting Hate series, volumes 1 through 3. So they've came up with this, and this came out, and I got the email just in time for the election. I find it weird that I've been signed up since about a year ago, and I'm just now getting this volume right before the election. See, one of the things that they got called out on by multiple creators in this space was that they're wasting tax dollars on this. This is why on LinkedIn, they said that this is going to be the 4th and final volume. Why? Because y'all got found out? Because we figured out that y'all are wasting money on this when other problems could be solved. You're up here trying to suppress men's freedom of speech by releasing these documents, trying to pigeonhole all the men in this space into the same group, so that when y'all go to look for these people, we're all the same. I'm trying to think of the creator's name who they came after first. Oh, mediocre tutorials and reviews. They tried to equate him to Andrew Tate. which is beyond ridiculous. Because if you know his content, you know that he's not that type of guy. Now, me personally, I stopped fucking with his content because, once we came out to defend him, he turned around and turned his back on us once again, started talking shit about us. So that's where I'm at with him. And if you don't believe me, go to when we were talking about this earlier this year, right around that time when the Diverting Hate thing came out. Everybody was subscribed to his channel. Everybody was donating. Everybody was trying to get on all his platforms and all the different things he was doing. And then he turned around and released a couple of videos that I'm not going to mention, but basically talking shit about us in this space, thus trying to further distance himself from where he got his following from, which I can't stand people that come in here, grift, get all the damn, you came in here and ate off Kevin Samuels and then turn around and turned your back on the very men who made you popular. I can't rock with that. But anyway, let's get into it. This is September 24th. Now, if you notice anything about the table of contents, this is the exact same structure that they used last time. I want to say that on Machismo TV, one of the brothers had pointed out when we went through this the first time that 70% of this whole document that they got paid $2.7 million for is written by AI. And that's if that doesn't piss you off, that your tax dollars are wasted by somebody, it's like 6 people. I've seen 6 main people and they all split $2.7 million allegedly. And yet you have AI writing this shit and submitting it back to the Department of Homeland Security, eating up your tax dollars. $2.7 million split both, 6 ways is a lot of damn money. That's almost enough money to give everybody $500,000 each. And all they had to do was put their name on it, add a little input, and just plug it right into this damn AI. That's more money than they would have made with these bullshit degrees that they got. Because if you go on LinkedIn and you look at the people who contributed to this document, you can see where they went to college and what their specialty is. They couldn't hope to make that kind of money unless they do something that peels off a bunch of money from the government, right? So, but I digress. Let's continue. So you see this table of contents, same exact structure of the last 3 volumes, nothing new, nothing to add, right? So you jump in this introduction, you're going to see them throw out a bunch of, misogyny, this, that, and the third. Nothing solid at all. Nothing solid at all. It's the same thing they wrote in last time. Why they exist, for vulnerable men. Listen, men wouldn't be vulnerable if society didn't turn their back on said men, right? But they won't address that. They won't address the other side, what the female participation is, and society and government's participation as far as men goes. They won't talk about that. They won't talk about it at all. They ignore that. That's why this space exists, because we acknowledge that, hey, society has passed a lot of young men by, and young men who aren't gainfully employed, who have nothing to look for, they turn dark. We all know this, but instead of addressing society's ills like we do in this space, they would rather pile on the men who is addressing the issue. Hey, don't talk about that. Don't peek behind the fucking curtain and talk about anything. So here we go. Here's their work. Over the past 2 years, Diverting Hate has diligently researched the pervasive influence of the manosphere, revealing critical patterns and trends that highlight the escalating threat of misogynistic extremism in both the United States and worldwide. So here we go. And we're going to get to this much later in the document, is that they tried to take a huge leap. They took one step here, one step there, and they tried to take a huge leap to say that this is a worldwide problem. I don't know how the hell you hop, skip, and jump just like that. First thing y'all were on was on Andrew Tate and his influence, which he stole a lot of the talking points from the manosphere, and he made them popular. So what do you have to say for society? Because society turned their backs on young men instead of addressing us who are fighting back and giving young men the tools to do what they need to do and to make themselves productive citizens. You're fighting us. You don't want to address their problems. You don't want to address the elephant in the room, but you're fighting us. Therefore, you go out here, you create these research papers. You got this whole I forget who they're funded by, but they have a huge library of quote unquote research where they're talking about what we're doing in this space and how it contributes to violence, but they're not addressing the environmental factors that come from the society we live in at all. You're saying like we're over here starting a fire in the corner, but that fire ain't justified. Never mind that the whole fucking room is cold towards you. So you decide to warm yourself up and gather along with other young men to try to figure out an answer. Nah, we don't want you peeking behind the curtain, all right? We don't want you to discover any solutions to your problems. We're going to tell you what your solutions are supposed to be. We don't want you men coming up with your own ideas and ways out of this thing. We want you to continue to do our bidding until we say you deserve something. And we're going to tell you what it is no matter what. So here we go. Global influence and cultural adaptation. So they're going to take I've read a few of these. They're going to take instances that happen overseas, one-offs, and they're going to equate that to the violence that happens here at home. Where when it comes to black folks, black men especially, when there's no opportunities out there, what happens? A lot of these young men turn to crime. It's the same thing that happens overseas. If there's no opportunity, nothing for them to do, or they can't have a family or what was promised to them, they're going to turn on the system. I don't know why. Excuse me. I don't know why the higher society acts like they don't understand that, or the better yet, they understand it, but they're going to try to paint you as the bad guy. So when shit like this comes up, oh, I had no idea. I had no idea what was happening. And here we go again with the same executive summary. Section 1, cultural tactics of the manosphere, global spread of misogynistic extremism. Now, we understand that a lot of the things that we say in this space has been translated to multiple languages, because some of these places where extreme feminism is starting to poke its ugly head is starting to affect those young men over there. Just as bad as it's done in the States. These people can always look at us as the prime example of why you shouldn't let feminism gain a stronghold. Look at what's going on in Korea. Look at all of Europe. Look at Spain. Look at all these different countries who are having a problem with extreme feminism. Where the birth rates are declining, you'll find extreme feminism. Tell me I'm wrong. South Korea has one of the worst birth rates in the world. And guess what else they have? They have the 4B movement, which is a branch of the extreme feminism. Now, they call this exploitation of young men. First of all, you motherfuckers don't pay young men any attention at all. When folks have been talking to y'all about the education system for 50 years, that it's not suitable for young men. Men like to use their hands. A lot of us are visual learners. We can't sit still for hours on end. What did y'all do? Y'all did absolutely nothing. The classroom is the same it's been for 50 years. Bland instruction, somebody talking for hours on end, lectures, reading out of a book. That's not how young men learn. So therefore, the classroom is more suitable towards a female audience. That's why they're able to earn all these degrees, because a lot of men cannot sit still that long. Now, that's not a knock on us. It's just the way we're wired. So you want to talk about exploitation? What y'all have done is the actual definition of exploitation. See, when society is failing, first thing you want to turn to is the men. You want to throw them up there on the pedestal. Like, hey, we need to take care of these young men and boys, right? But the minute they start doling out dollars, guess where it goes? It goes right into the females' pockets. So don't give me that bullshit. Yeah. Notice these people will never actually debate a man from this. They won't. They won't talk about anything that's of substance. They'll continue to move the goalposts like them damn inflatable men that hang out in front of the damn car dealerships. They'll never talk about it. See, what they're actually doing is projection. This exploitation is first found. Look at what they did with BLM. It was black men dying in the streets, bleeding, getting locked up, being maimed. Some guys can't walk if they didn't die. There's a few people that were put in wheelchairs who got cases against these different police departments, right? So where did the money go? The money didn't go to helping young men. It went to those fucking females in the rainbow community. So they used you for the blood money, and then they turned around and spent it on themselves. See, these folks that wrote this, these are liberals. These are the same folks that use black people's struggles to get a bunch of funding and then turn around and spend it on themselves. These people got $2.7 million, maybe more. I'm just saying what I saw, to do this research paper where they used 70% AI to do it. And all they did was run across a few videos here and there and some incel websites that we have no association with to create this paper. And then they want to throw in all these definitions. What is a cult? You want to attribute cults to the manosphere, right? Cults have existed long before the manosphere. So don't try to put this on us. See, they try this shit every single time. Every time there's something bad, people suffer from I think a lot of people who deal with the internet suffer from some type of short-term memory because they don't want to go back and look to see how long this has gone on. Just like they try to say that Trump supporters are a cult. There have been many cults. You remember that famous phrase, drink the Kool-Aid? Was that not a cult? Was that not 30, 40 years ago? The manosphere wasn't even a twinkle in anybody's eye. Multi-level marketing. Exactly. Feminism is the largest cult in the world. These people are going so far as to not have children, not procreate, not do anything, not marry, date, and so forth. That's what that 4B movement is. That is the extremist form of feminism, but it doesn't work here in the States because anytime you want a handout from the government, guess what? A single female will be homeless, but a female with children is going to get every single program known to man thrown at them, right? Like there are so many more programs for females in this country, especially if you have children, than there are for men. That's why I said, I did a video a while back saying that 4B was dead on arrival in the United States. I don't understand how it works overseas either because there's no help overseas at all. All right, so multi-level marketing. So like Avon and shit like that. We're responsible for Avon. We're responsible for Matco tools. We're responsible for Snap-on. We're responsible for all these different financial things that have fucked people over. Is that what they're trying to say? MLM schemes often attract individuals seeking financial advice, entrepreneurial knowledge to achieve financial. So basically, they're trying to say that we use multi-level marketing to attract people in here to support the manosphere. Exactly. Kamala Harris folks are a cult. I don't even want to address this shit right there. This whole paragraph doesn't make any sense at all. So they're trying to say all right. So they're trying to say that what Andrew Tate did to blow up his YouTube channels, which a lot of us know what the hell he did, had everybody basically in a sub for sub multi-level marketing type deal. I mean, that's the best way I can describe it. But that's not everybody in this space. First of all, that's against YouTube rules, and that's going to get you banned. They explicitly talk about that in their rules. All right. So then they jump back into this Andrew Tate shit, right? Remember, I mentioned Andrew Tate because for some reason they can't let this guy go. A lot of us knew he was a grifter. We don't associate with the guy. I appreciate what he's done for taking the talking points global, but a lot of us don't really rock with him like that, especially with the allegations and stuff, whether true or not. Like, you don't want to be associated with that. So what they did They tried to put that, and then even he said he's not part of the manosphere. He stole a lot of talking points, and then he said he's not a part of the manosphere. Yet these folks keep trying to make him a part of the manosphere. Like, so who are you going to believe? The guy that says he's not, or the people here who are pushing back saying, no, that's not who we are. We don't believe in all this bullshit. We want intact families. We want to be able to make our money, live in peace, and just, basically be a part of the elusive American dream. Fix our communities. Do something with the power that we have. That's what the manosphere is all about. Educating young men not to make the same mistakes that we did. Just like how these feminists are able to go into magazines and have talk shows and TV and shit all over the place. It's funny when the rabbits got the gun, when you have the ability for men to do the same. Just like those women sit there, you got women who have way more followers than most men who will sit there and they'll talk and teach each other all these different tricks of the trade and how to manipulate folks, and nobody bothers them at all. We may come in and we give our 2 cents and we'll review their channel and go at them back and forth and how fucked up how they really are. But the minute men start doing the same thing, hey, stay away from this, stay away from that. Wait till you're about 30 to get married. Make sure you're established to do anything with your life. I mean, before you start making permanent decisions, all of a sudden we're the bad guys. We get put in a damn a research paper like these people want us to be. Like, wild, ain't it? So, and I get tired of people not saying what the manosphere really is. It bugs the shit out of me. We're not a collective of evil men who just want to see women do bad. No, we're a collective of other men who want to talk to other men who want to do better with their lives and prosper. And we want to network and we want to make money. We want to do this. We want to have families. And then it's gotten to the point where now it's hit the political arena. To the point where you got the vice president herself addressing us, talking about podcasters and this, that, and the third will be held accountable because of the way we're speaking on these platforms. Now you got to ask yourself, why is that? It's I know the answer. It's because they're scared. Because never before have they heard the voices of black men speaking with purpose, who want something for their support, their vote, who actually want to change this damn society and fix these folks who are just one-sided on these issues. And then, back to this article, the real world with a former member. The predecessor to the Rent Hustlers University, $49.99 per month. Okay, I already talked about that. We don't rock with that. I never joined that damn site. If I got to spend money like that, I'm not doing it. $50 a month, that's crazy to me. Ain't nobody doing that shit. Nobody I know is doing that. So again, most of this volume is dedicated to Andrew Tate because that's all they got. I'm pretty sure they saw all the videos that we did on this organization, and we exposed these people. I even put the faces of the people who were writing these reports on YouTube. You're a public figure now. You wrote a piece about us. You deserve to get exposed. You can go on LinkedIn, type in Diverting Hate. You're going to see everybody. Well, the names are starting to shrink, but you're going to see a lot of people associated with Diverting Hate on there. Do what you will with that information. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A former member. Somebody that said that they basically right here, this is supposedly somebody that was a former member of the Real World, some type of red pill spinoff that Andrew Tate and his brother were responsible for, which is lame to begin with. I don't know how many people fell for that garbage anyway, because you can get the talking points for free. And like I said, like in the description, I got the whole document in the description. So if you want to read it and find that page 11, and reread this, Because I've already read it. It's a bunch of bullshit. With the rebranding, Tate has developed a more sophisticated, basically reformatting how he did things, just like any good businessman does. I mean, I don't agree with it, but they will rebrand this thing over and over and over till they get to the target audience or they start to make money off of it. And all they're doing is selling knowledge. I don't see what the problem is. I'm not buying the shit. But a majority of this document, like I was saying before, is dedicated to Andrew Tate because that's the only person they can try to nail down because he's not going to come out here and respond. I think he's still on Rumble. I know he's on Twitter, but he's the only one that they can definitively nail down to suit their narrative. If that's, if I got that right. Yeah, Andrew Tate, he definitely seems like a plant. He's done everything wrong in this space, even though people have reached out to him and talked to him and tried to tell him that's not the way we operate. But hey, he's all about that money, so it is what it is. But a lot of this comes off the backs of M.Chi.TOWs, MRAs. I mean, none of this stuff is original. None of it is original. They're trying to make it seem like this guy is the mustache man from World War II level of misogynist. And anything that he does is going to lead every young man in the world down the wrong path, which is them like dissing us like you can't think for yourself. Exactly. The female space is literally a hate group. That is 100% correct. That is 100% correct. That's just what they do. But when we talk about that, somehow you get labeled a misogynist for even bringing that up. Or what about the lady who just jumped over Niagara Falls with her 5-month-old baby? What about her? Does that make me a misogynist for pointing it out? Or is she a misandrist because she couldn't hack it in life and she decided to take the easy way out? Crazy, right? But I bet you if she had a husband or did things the right way and she had a husband to take some of the burden off of her, she'd be okay. Her and her 5-month-old would be alive today because my guess is that life got hard, so she decided to exit stage left. So here we go. Psychological control and manipulation in the real world. So again, they're still focusing on Andrew Tate and whatever the hell he was doing, which a lot of us are not privy to because I don't see too many dudes that would pay $50 a month for that. They would probably pay for OnlyFans before buying something from Andrew Tate. Purity, patriarchy, and pregnancy. And then they start to turn their attention to the trad wife movement. Excuse me. So if you're aware of the trad wife movement, that started on TikTok, where all these women got together. They were like, hey, we're not going to drown out the voices of these other folks. So females can make more views, but they want to focus on us. Exactly. Because they have nothing better to do. If they're doing so well, they're so happy, why do they bother with us? And then the other thing is they also set their sights on people like the trad wife movement, right? These are people who are trying to do the traditional thing, raise their children in a certain way so they're more prosperous and not fucked up like the rest of us. And they had a problem with this. Purity. Telling folks to, mind your body count. Don't sleep with everybody. They have a problem with that. Somehow that's misogynist. Patriarchy. It was patriarchy that pretty much secured the whole world, made the world safe in general for everybody to walk around. Most people can walk around the streets even at night and nothing happened to them. You know why? Because a group of good men got together and said, fuck this. We're going to secure this place. And anybody who fucks up, it doesn't obey our rules, is going to be dealt with. That comes from patriarchy. And pregnancy. Okay, you need people to replace the people who are currently living. one of the basic functions that you have in life was to what God commanded you to go forth and multiply. Have your children within a 2-parent household, they come out better. Or give your children to the father, they'll turn out better later on in life. There's a problem with that. Like, these people don't know what they want. They're just complaining for no reason. But that's most liberals. They have a problem with guns, but want the government to maintain their guns. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. You want to be able to do whatever you want with your body, but then you can't tell anybody. Then you want to tell people what to do with their children. You want to delete your children, but then you want to tell everybody else what to do with their kids. Make it make sense. All right. Let's see. Tradwise and crunchy birth moms. I gotta go back and read that again. Do have a point. The state of maternal and infant care in America is abysmal. All right, let's see. Exactly. Patriarchy created all this technology, even the things that make female pregnancy easier. Exactly. Most of your inventors, scientists, and stuff have been male. The guy who created tampons and pads and stuff, male. All because he was tired of, having his wife deal with the woes of having a menstrual cycle every month. That's pretty much what happened. But somehow, by today's standards, he's a misogynist, right? Based on the information here, he's a misogynist. And the more you read through these things, like I would urge people to like just skim through 1 through 3. 3 was probably the biggest one because it actually named other people besides Andrew Tate. But read through it. These people are just full of shit. They're like, they got paid millions of dollars to spew the same old liberal garbage. These people don't know what they don't have what it takes to run a country, what it takes to run a society, but yet want to sit on the sidelines and complain about everything that you do that is necessary. In order to get bacon, you got to slaughter the hog, right? But they'll sit on the sideline and complain like, well, you don't have to do them like that. That's inhumane. What, because I shot him in the head to get so I get the bacon? You want me to choke this bitch? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Oh, or better yet, one of my favorite things was when Mia Khalifa came out talking shit to all the troops and stuff like that. How do you think you get other countries to behave? You either fuck them up or bow down. You got 2 choices. But yet people like that, why are we sending troops to war? To keep people from coming over here and fucking with you. Because guess who's the first victim in a war? That would be the females left behind. They become the spoils of war. This happened throughout our history. But that same patriarchy they complain about is the reason why they can get up, go to school, get all these stupid ass degrees and nothing ever happens to them. Like, get real. So yeah, they're mad at the trad wives. Let me see if I can blow this up a little bit. Hang on. Let's see what this comment says here. All right, and join Kelly live on Instagram tomorrow night. I have no things. Survivor of feminism. So this is basically somebody who turned over a new leaf and realized that feminism lied to them. And this is the comment thread. This was on Twitter. Sovereign, they seem like polar divergence. What the fuck? Friends in both left and right. You can tell a female wrote this shit. Everything is fringe. There's a feeling attached to it. Some type of adjective, something that doesn't make any damn sense. Hospital birth is spiritual warfare. I don't agree with that, but we'll keep going. So here we go. Traditional folks. Nice family unit, and they have a problem with it. Now, I don't agree with this whole home birth shit. That shit is weird to me. I don't agree with that, but as far as keeping your family together, I agree with that. And then they start jumping into this worldwide thing, right? So they can't find the examples of us being violent here in the US because the rules are different overseas. The rules are way different overseas. We can't account for all the rules and laws overseas because you have to be from that country. You have to know their laws. You have to be able to read their languages and so forth. So somehow they attribute that to us. Those men overseas are operating within their countries and customs, and whatever happens over there, we ain't got shit to do with. But these companies that they're trying to write these policies for are American companies. So what they're trying to do is use outside influence as well as some internal things that's happening right here in the States to try to lobby Google, um, uh, Google, Twitter, whoever, to change their social media policies so that whatever we say here, we're all grouped together. It's the same thing that happened in Volume 3 when they tried to make mediocre tutorials and reviews on the same level as Andrew Tate. Listen to what I'm saying here. If you group us all together and make it seem that we're all the same, so when they take one of us down, they can take us all down because we're no different. Okay? So if they get them to change the policies here in the States to the point where the manosphere is damn near illegal because MGTOW, you can't even use that hashtag anywhere on social media. It's pretty much banned on most social media. But if you say manosphere or our type of content, they're trying to get them to change their algorithm and their content ID systems to identify the way that we talk and the way that we highlight things when men are speaking because of these folks overseas. They're trying to make us all look so evil that these companies really put some work in to make sure that the minute you call somebody a bitch, your ass is out of here. Watch what I'm telling you. Like, I have no idea who these influencers are. Most of us don't speak Spanish. So when it comes to these individuals overseas, they've probably went through Google Translate, translated their messages, their live streams, and so forth, and trying to like pick up artists. These guys, we have nothing to do with these guys. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. So you move from Andrew Tate, who lives overseas, you jump into this guy who's in Mexico, and all these guys overseas. You got chat rooms, you got dark web. These people have gone super far. This is what you call confirmation bias. They've gone super far to find whatever they can to pin it on the men in this space. And the first thing they're going to do, they're going to come for the black manosphere first. I guarantee it. If they're able to do so, but I doubt they'll be able to accomplish everything they're trying to do just because we have the ability to make multiple channels. It would be it would be too hard for you to squash our message completely. It's not. It wouldn't happen. So here we go. They jump from Mexico back to India. And they start talking. India has its own problems with feminism, the way they treat people. We have nothing to do with that as well. I don't give a shit what happens in India. And here we go. MGTOW, India. See, that message spread faster than a lot of things. But being the scourge, trying to paint us all as the scourge of society, that's crazy to me. All right, so I'm going to drop down some more. Here we are, some screenshots from select YouTube pages that they found. Have nothing to do with us, but somehow they drop it on us. In conclusion, other forums, Hindi, India, whatever, they got the same problems over there. Ask some of these, like, look at some of these videos that's come out recently where you have a woman who appears to be from India. Look at Kamala Harris. And you think they don't have problems? You got this bitch telling you she's black and we know she's not. You think they don't have problems? All right, section 2, convergence of hate, extremism, and digital platforms. All right, so they delve into the intricate relationship between misogyny, extremism, digital landscape, highlighting that where are the feminists? Where's the feminist? I see misogyny. Where's misandry? Where are the feminists? This whole report is biased. Where are the feminists? I'll wait. See, what we've learned from the FBI crime statistics, that women are more dangerous to children and other women than anything else. Most of your deletion of children comes from women. Family violence. A lot of times most of the time, the perpetrator is a female. So where that, man? You want to blame the patriarchy, but when the patriarchy had full control, the world was a lot safer. But yet you want to use these groups to try to justify what you're trying to do here in the States? I think the fuck not. All right, so continuing on. Let's see. Misogyny is a fundamental factor in extremism and terrorism. Even on their own website, and as well as you're going to see later on in this report, that the violence that they claim we're capable of, we're causing, is very limited. Very limited. The data is very limited. What we do in this space is not directly tied to shit, maybe but a hand. You can count on one hand how many acts of violence that what we do is tied to. You have some people who are not right in the head who are going to take these messages and they're going to run with it. And that holds true for any movement that's out there. Again, I point out that cult, drink the Kool-Aid. And that wasn't an act of violence. We had nothing to do with that. What about the lady who dove over Niagara Falls? Or what about the lady who went on the highway and pushed both her kids out the car before crashing into a tree? One of the children didn't survive. We had something to do with that? You want to equate what we're doing in this space to terrorism? Fine. Good luck with that. By that same metric, I would say that feminism is also a terrorist group, a terrorist cult, if you will. See, in the Black community, those feminists are responsible for deleting 19 million babies. I'm not sure what it is for the white community and everybody else, but let's start there. 20 million fetuses deleted. That's more than the Holocaust. That's more than the bodies dropped in World War I and II, the war in Iraq, Vietnam, all those different conflicts combined. Women in this country have dropped more bodies than any armed conflict ever. But you want to call us terrorists? 9/11 couldn't hope to touch the amount of children deleted at Planned Parenthood. But we're the terrorists. You have a problem with men speaking their mind and trying to stick up for other men who've been left behind in the dust, but we're terrorists. We're violating all types of laws, but you made it convenient for people to delete folks who can't even speak for themselves. And even after the 9th month, when that baby slides out of the birth canal, in some states, you're still allowed to delete that child. But somehow, we're the terrorists. Keisha Myers, I like it. I'm stealing that, by the way. Somehow, we're the terrorists. Like, I know that a lot of people hate the way that we think and the way that we talk in the space, because we put common sense to whatever we're saying. But these folks are, every minute somebody's dropping a fucking body at a clinic. Every couple minutes. But Keisha talking about somebody getting deleted every 5.5 hours. Bitch, please. Keisha Meyer out here running up GTA stars. These motherfuckers is running up kill streaks. There should be a chopper gunner outside of every Planned Parenthood. A UAV or something. Like we playing Call of Duty. But y'all want to focus on us in this space for trying to right the wrongs of this society. That's one thing I can credit Black men for. Is that we see the solutions. We try to put it out here on the internet. And yet, y'all want to clap our channels. Take us down. Exactly. Yeah, I remember reading that on the crime data and statistics when it comes to IPV. Keisha deletes as many men as men delete them. So it's like mutual combat. Actually, they delete more men of their race than any other race of women, right? Yeah, that's all they got. See, they got to do that because they can't. It's like it's a smoke screen. They got to do that because it hides their what they're doing behind the scenes. Like I said in the beginning, don't peek behind that curtain. It's like the Wizard of Oz. We're strong, independent. We're all so wonderful. We do all these great things, but don't you dare peek behind that damn curtain because behind them is a trail of people she screwed over to get there in her wake. All her choices is the reason why she is the way she is. Why she had to go to school and get all these degrees because she made some poor choices. Now, you're two kids deep, and now all of a sudden you got to go out here and you got to work harder to make sure you can provide for them by yourself. Whose fault is that? Said, I understand propaganda and we will just use the. Oh, Jesus. Where did you got to let me know where you read that at. I want to see that shit so I can break that down too. I believe it. I believe it. With all that backdoor crap that's going on, I believe it. This is why I go out of my way. I avoid them at all costs. I don't live around them. I don't do anything. All right, so moving down here. Hegemonic masculinity. This form of masculinity represents an idealized version of manhood in contemporary patriarchal societies. Although its traits have evolved and will continue to evolve, hegemonic masculinity always embodies the most valued and dominant form of masculinity. Masculinity within a given culture or patriarchal conditions. Understanding hegemonic masculinity is crucial because it drives the gender power dynamics within a patriarchy. Hegemonic masculinity exerts control over specific groups through mechanisms like political, cultural exclusion, as well as legal and societal violence. Who the hell wrote that? Kamala Harris? Just say there's a pecking order to it. Complacent masculinity, subordinate masculinity, and marginal masculinity. All right, here we go. Leave it to these people to define masculinity. All right. So, misogyny as a fundamental factor. All right. To fully understand the role of misogyny, extremism, and terrorism, it's crucial to determine whether misogyny itself can function as a core ideological motivator, such as acts. In other words, we must explore if misogyny can be considered prerequisite for terrorism crimes and whether the definition of extremism includes gender as a significant driving factor. What the hell are you talking about? Current research increasingly explores whether misogyny can be categorized as ideological, political stance in her book, The Incel Rebellion. Again, we have nothing to do with incels. Let's see what this says. It was on Twitter, YouTube. I can't remember because I didn't save it. Recently started saving these receipts. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely going to look for that later. All right, so back to these people right here, the Incel Rebellion. Okay, the incels have nothing to do with what we're trying to do here at all. Incels pretty much explain themselves. They don't participate in anything. They have nothing to do with us. We have nothing to do with them. So why are they in this report? They tried this last time where they went to an incel website and they were pulling specific passages from incels posts on there. And what they tried to do was say that that was us as well. Just like this other stuff that was in the beginning of this document. They try to attribute Andrew Tate to us, and nobody bothers with Andrew Tate. Nobody believes in what he's talking about. Nothing. None of that. All right. So then they come over here to the far right. If you ask the guys in this space, most guys here are in the middle, are on the middle ground. They just want things to go back to normal, want things to be okay. They want to be able to raise their families, work, get paid a decent living wage, no matter what, and want their households in a certain order. These folks are trying to attribute you to being the far right, where you got the I want to say the racists, and racists no matter what color exist on the far right. It doesn't matter. Which is not what we're doing. That's not what we're pushing here. Yeah, exactly. They're trying to lump everybody. What they're trying to do is they're trying to heap a bunch of these different groups into one pile. So when they go through and start making policy, they can incorporate everybody into the same thing. Not, it doesn't matter whether you're speaking with common sense. It doesn't matter whether you're speaking for the right, whether you're speaking for religion, whether you're speaking for what should be right in society and life. They're trying to lump you all together based on where you come from in this space. So when they try, like, one of the things they said in one of their other documents was that they're trying to affect the terms of use, user guidelines in multiple platforms, so that the way that we speak on these platforms would be damn near outlawed. We already know there's a bunch of hashtags, a bunch of keywords you can't use on these platforms. To, even if you're describing a certain situation, like look at what we got to say. Instead of saying ABs, you got to say baby deletion and stuff like that, because they don't want you talking about it. They're trying to affect the policy so that they can get away with whatever the hell they're doing and you can't comment on nothing. They don't own these platforms, just like we don't own these platforms, but they're trying to make it clear to their advertisers and people who are giving them money that, hey, we shouldn't have to see or hear about any of these things. Basically trying to dumb the platforms down. Let's see. Did you see the CNN incel attack? They were clearly actors trying to. Yeah, I saw that. I saw snippets of it. Yeah, they did the same thing. It's the same thing over and over and over. They try to lump everything together to discredit people from either side, from this side, so they don't have to talk to you anymore. They will not talk or debate you as a person in this space because they're afraid of what you're going to say. Look at what happened when they put Cameron up there on Fox News. He was being himself, and they looked like ass. All right, so the manosphere. Misogyny has always been an integral part of Western far-right extremism, according to Gentry, to the extent that far-right terrorism cannot exist without it. As many of its key components rely on misogynistic beliefs. For instance, the Great Replacement theory is deeply rooted in misogyny. That is absolutely false. The Great Replacement theory was a theory about a bunch of far-right racists who thought that because you're bringing so many people in here that white folks would disappear and the country would turn brown, which is far from true. The person that one of the people that did that, who espoused that theory, was on Pearl's channel, was on Miss Pearly Thing's channel. She had him on there, and he was talking about that whole Great Replacement theory. That is the most racist shit that most people can come up with. That they don't want all these people in the country because they, for fear of them being replaced, which is crazy in itself. But it has nothing to do with what we talk about here. When we talk about jobs, family, fixing this country, getting the money out of politics, going back to the way things were 4 years ago. Great Replacement theory has no space in that. The only credit you can give these people is that with all this immigration, this illegal immigration, that's going to make jobs harder for the people that already live here. Because with the influx of labor, the cost of labor is going to go down. That's the only thing they can hang on. But the Great Replacement theory, that's already been debunked. That's some white supremacist garbage that they came up with years ago. It's already been a thing. I don't even know why it even made it into this report. But somehow, again, they try to lump us all together, saying that everybody who speaks the way that we do is racist and misogynist and whatever other names you can name to it. All right. The manosphere is often closely linked with incels, and most research in this space centers on them. However, it's important to recognize that, let's see, what does it say? The incident not isolated from the rest of the society, despite media portrayals suggesting otherwise. Yes, they are isolated. Attributing misogyny solely to incels overlooks the reality that misogynists permeate all aspects of society. Okay. And misandrists don't. You can't go maybe every third video on TikTok is some crazy misandrist view. Hell, one of the biggest influencers on TikTok, Drew Afalo, whatever her name is one of the biggest misandrists on the app. It was laughable, but the big incel dude would lose a fight. Yeah, that is funny. But yeah, they try to attribute so many things to you to make you look like the bad guy, when in fact, this is why nobody pays attention to like the news channels anymore, because they lie so much. And we can easily go to the websites, go to certain outlets, people who are on the ground, and look at things and easily debunk what they're saying. These incel groups, they're isolated from society. That's why you don't see any incel channels. They're on chat rooms. They're in forums. They're talking to each other. They're not talking to you. But yet somehow they made it to this report. These groups share several beliefs such as the wall, the red pill ideology, views on interactions of men and women, and dehumanization of women. However, they differ significantly in terms of their violence capital. All right. So in the last couple years, there was a guy who was viewing some of the content in this space. And because he viewed that content, they tried to say that his motivation for taking out a bunch of people was because he viewed the information in this space, which is entirely false and highly doubtful. So of all the action movies I've seen, I've not gone out here and think I was the fucking Terminator. I haven't gone out here wanted to, run out here in my car and crash into a bunch of people. I never wanted to blow some shit up. Nothing. Hey, what's up, Mr. Blade? Mr. Bloodier? My bad. What's good? Feminist dating. Exactly. We on TikTok, we call it the infinite money glitch. All they got to do is come up with some crazy ass take. Like the most recent one I seen was somebody posted a comment like, this is what Kevin Samuels was talking about. And this lady was like, well, where is he at now? And then shook her head like, making fun of what happened to KS. Like she won't see a grave soon enough. Like she's going to live forever. That video got so much reach and so many views. I'm pretty sure she made a good little penny off of it. But yeah, they love like talking to us like damn children. But then when we push back, now all of a sudden we're oh, you're being a misogynist. I don't like this. And I've heard it from men. I've heard it from women. The ones that really piss me off are the men that they get behind this shit. Oh, you're a misogynist. Like, man, shut the hell up. You know what the fuck you're talking about. I think that some of them forget how real men talk. How men talk in general, rather. They're not used to it. See, this whole document is about, I want to say it's 84 pages long, right? But a bulk of it was dedicated to incels, Andrew Tate, and a bunch of shit. And then then you see how they try to sprinkle the manosphere in the middle. They didn't differentiate. They didn't say black manosphere. They said manosphere. They talking about all of us. Then they come over here to jihadism. Like, look, what does this have to do with anything? The cult actual fear of the female plays a principal role in Taliban and Islamic State's misogyny. That's their culture. I've been good, man. Yeah, I've been good, man. I'm in the process of moving. This probably gonna be like one of the few box beggars. This is probably gonna be one of the last live streams I do for a while because I'm in the process of moving. So it's gonna be a minute before I get everything set back up. But I just wanted to drop this and talk about Volume 4 prior to the election, because it's funny how they dropped this. I want to say they said they came out with it in September, but I didn't get it from the email distribution list until last week, and then I pushed it out to all the brothers and egg to include all the other 3 volumes of it. So I wanted to cover this. I didn't do a live stream early in the week. but I had to speak on this because I know the brothers on Machismo TV are definitely going to speak on this and how they trying to continue to lump us all together. And by the time this reaches the masses and circulates between everybody, between the people who sponsor them, this is going to be a problem. This is going to be a problem. So if you're aware of it, it's not going to cause you any issues because you'll know how to refute this. But yeah, just want to give everybody an overview of what's really going on here. Tracing the online pathways to misogynistic violence. All right, 14 cases of violent attacks were either fully or in part motivated by misogyny reveals that many perpetrators of violent misogynistic attacks were not only active on mainstream platforms or specific platforms, but that they shared violent intentions with these online spaces before committing an offline attack. Okay. So basically, you remember the school shooters? They're trying to say that people like school shooters came from the manosphere. That's basically what they're saying. It doesn't matter, these people could have been on Facebook talking to their peers in groups, but somehow they were a part of the manosphere. That's what they're trying to do here. They're trying to aggregate all this information into one document, which I'm pretty sure once I drop this into an AI generator, you'll probably find 80% of this damn document is probably written by AI, but it's wild. So I do love that the top black man in politics was summoned to rein us in with the threat of Big Michelle. Yeah, all right. I kicked that bitch in her fucking Adam's apple. Anyway, yeah, I saw that, man. That dude, he kind of pissed me off with that. Like, bro, I don't need you to talk to me, man. I'm fucking 42 years old. I've been to combat 3 times. And once, like, two of those times was while you were president in Iraq. Like, get the fuck out of my face, man. You can't tell me shit. I know how to think for myself. You don't. I know how to, like, that shit gave me a headache. I was so mad when he said that. All he did was piss everybody off. And if you know anything, if you're like me, when somebody pissed me off, I'm not going to do what you say. I don't have any incentive to do what you say. But of this report, this is probably the most damning thing that I can't believe they put this in their report. I don't think they even bothered to discuss amongst themselves if this should be in a report. So you're talking about 14 cases. 14 cases in 16 years. Okay. 2008 to 24, 16 years. Planned misogyny-driven violent offline attacks between 2008 and 2024. Some attacks were successfully carried out, while others were successfully stopped. Now, in that, they don't tell you what these cases were. They don't. They don't tell you where these cases were carried out. They don't tell you who did it, whatever. They just threw these numbers up here, which is damning in itself. It's like the sleight of hand thing. Well, if I put it in big red letters and people are just going to believe it, I doubt it. But the fact that this is 14 cases in 16 years, that's less than 1 case per year. All right. 75. Of these cases, violent misogyny-driven attacks, 75 people were killed, including 7 perpetrators who either took their own lives or were killed by police. Notably, 2 of the victims were perpetrators' mothers. Okay. Now, is this because of the manosphere? Is it the same old school shooter bullshit? I mean, they try to attribute so many things to us. I have a reason to believe that a lot of some of these cases this is 75 people. School shooters took out more people in 16 years than 75. Those people have real problems. Those folks have no ties to the manosphere, but hundreds of people have already died due to mass shootings. Okay? You're talking about 75 versus hundreds of people in mass shootings in 16 years. Oh, by the way, that was under Democrat watch, by the way. Between 08 and 2024, most of that time was spent under Democrats. You're welcome. Funny how that works. So you're saying that all this violence, even the school shooters and all these people, all that stuff happened under mostly Democrats. So who should really be examined here? Is it us or you? At least 89 individuals injured during these 14 misogyny. You don't know that. You don't know whether these, like, unless you spoke to these people who carried out these attacks, you don't know that. And judging by what you say, 7 perpetrators took their lives, you will never know. So stop the bullshit. Stop trying to throw these people on us. So here we go. School. So incel, school violence, Muslim doctrine, and S violence are somehow tied to men's issues. Exactly. That's exactly what they're saying with this thing. They're saying that they're tied to men's issues, and they're also saying that because we speak on men's issues, we're causing the same said violence. That's what they're saying. That's what we've been doing in the space, speaking on men's issues, how to move, how to do this, that, and the third. And yet, when we do address those issues, you got people putting out reports like this saying that we are the problem or why these issues happen. Here's an idea. If they address men's issues, none of this happens at all. None of it. If y'all want to give us credit for this, if you address our issues, they will simply go away. That's one way to look at it. Let's see. 3 attacks were thwarted by law enforcement. And again, notice how they keep saying misogyny driven, misogyny driven. How many times do you see that? Misogyny driven, misogyny driven, misogyny driven. Let's see. They're only in one of these. They didn't say misogyny driven. Like wild, right? That's why you can't take these people seriously. You throw up some numbers. I can do this shit too. 20 million. 20 million babies unalived by black women between 1970 and 2024. In a misandrist-driven rage of having to have a black man's child. Doesn't sound so good. Anybody can do it. Even it's unfounded. I mean, the data is true, but what their motivations are, I don't know. All right, so then they come back and say the platform of choice. Remember in the beginning, they talked about Andrew Tate. They were on his ass about his platforms, this and third, but guess what? The platform of choice is YouTube. And those of us who speak the way that we do, a lot of us have found ourselves on the way out from YouTube. They've removed so many men's channels. But when it comes to people like Cynthia G, who is pictured right here, who decided to stick her ugly head back out here. Now, mind you, this channel's been up since 2009. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yep, by the wig. The wig, the wig commander in chief. She's back on YouTube. But it's only a matter of time. She just decided to test the waters and show her face. The other videos she did, she wasn't showing her face. Exactly. Delete black male fetuses in the womb. Don't give them a chance at all. But somehow, I mean, she eventually got canceled for that. But she's back. She's back. This is the channel. I'll show it to you again. This is the channel. This channel's been here since 2009. I believe it's one of her backup channels. But the one that had the most reach, with the same name, this used to be the name that she had on here before. It was she did have it captioned Black Butterfly at one point. She just now switched it to Cynthia G. I guess she figured out that it's been a year, so the coast should be clear. She's gonna stick her fucking ugly head out again. But we're gonna get that one canceled too, so don't you worry about that. All right, so they want to talk about YouTube. YouTube is one of the harshest platforms. It's not as bad as Facebook, but one of the harshest platforms. We can't get away with saying the same thing that Cynthia G said on YouTube at all. You can't even come close. All we can do is have intelligent discourse, keep Keisha off your platform, and do what we normally do, and talk about these issues the same way I'm talking to you now. And that's right. The wig of odd. That's funny. So when the woman harmed her mixed race kids in Kentucky based on internet influence, she won't tie that. No, they won't. They won't. They don't have anywhere to point the finger. They won't point their finger back to all the bad influencers. They won't point her at Cynthia G, Chrissy, for Harriet. None of these chicks. Tasha, Tasha K, Tanya TKO. None of them. All these people have called us dusties, bullet bags, bussies, shit, man, like the weakest link. They've called us every name under the sun. They've talked about they get joy from watching police delete us in the streets. You know, every time one of these race soldiers go out here and kills a black man, they get pleasure out of that. That channel is still up. As a matter of fact, the one channel I'm talking about, up until what, about 6-7 months ago, her channel art was a black man swinging from a tree while a little girl was swinging on it. Like crazy, right? But somehow they writing reports. They got NGOs, non-governmental organizations funded by the DHS to write this report on us and what we're doing in the space. You know, perpetrators with prolonged presence on YouTube. You mean like all the misandrists on here? See, I can flip this whole document around because everything that they say about us applies to the other side. Matter of fact, what we do is nowhere close to what they do. Let's see, all these black being deleted, but won't blame. Exactly. They won't blame them at all. They real quiet. When that damn Brad turned Keisha into puzzle pieces, as one person stated on AC Live, that shit had me rolling. Called him Puzzle Piece Brad. That shit was funny as hell. Wow, but we all in this together in this race thing. Yeah, nah. Yeah, that's well. Wow, but we all in this race thing. This race thing. Yeah, all right. They everything's separate until money starts flowing, and now they by themselves. Other platforms of choice, they talk about it. Rumble, X, wherever we exist, they want to talk about those mainstream social media platforms. And look how they threw the firearms in here. Name me somebody in this space who's out here always showing firearms. Now, we got some gun enthusiasts who are on YouTube have nothing to do with us. Nothing to do with us. But all these people who planned attacks to carry out mass shootings and stuff like that, when they wrote those manifestos and Facebook posts and all that, did you ever hear them scream out for the Manosphere, for Obsidian, for Angry Man, anything like that? For the Black Manosphere, for all men? Nobody ran out there and said charge before they went out there and did all these killings. These people had their own motivations, whether it be being bullied, talk shit to, some love interest, whatever. That has nothing to do with us. Some people are just off in the head. And even some of these parents who give their kids fucking rifles, that has nothing to do with us. So what the hell does the Manosphere got to do with you giving little Timmy his very first AR-15? Like, these people think we're stupid. And then they pull out random tweets. Has nothing to do with us, yet again. All right, white supremacy and misogyny in online spaces. Now, when I first came to YouTube, yeah, there was a lot of racist channels. There was a lot of racist channels. They've since been gone. They've probably retreated to other, areas of YouTube, or they've gone to other places online. I don't know. I don't care. Whether they go hand in hand with misogyny, I do not know. I'm not going to try to debate that or try to even put any thought into that, because it's not our fight. It has nothing to do with us. Yeah, the one guy that tangentially tied to Red Pill, he's been, and it's been, yeah. Even if you go on to Diverting Hate's LinkedIn, they got an article where one of these guys, I'm not sure if we're talking about the same guy, where they try to attribute all his shit to us. Like, just because he watched a couple videos, because y'all looked at his history, that doesn't mean anything. Is he alive? Did he tell you that personally? Did he tell you that Andrew Tate said I should wild out? I mean, that's the things that we should be asking these people. These people don't, that's why they don't want to talk to us. They don't want to debate us. They don't want us on their platforms, but yet they'll give you some manosphere light garbage. Like in the first, was it like the third volume? They talked about how they were sending ads on certain folks' YouTube channels. And I did a video talking about how you can see the ads being ran. If you're monetized, you can see the ads being ran on your channel. And one of the channels I went to, I seen one of those ads for one of the Manosphere Light folks who are listed in their volume 3 document running on their channel. You can see it all over the place. If you have a website and this person and your website is on a site where they do Google ads, they will run one of these damn Manosphere. They will find your channel or find your page and say, hey, I want to run an ad on this person's website. And that ad will pop up in the corner for all to see and direct them and divert them away from your page. See what I mean? Like, for the life of me, I don't understand what these people are trying to do. But according to them, this is their fourth and final volume. So we probably don't have to deal with this shit again. Again, a lot of us are black men in this space. I don't see a whole lot of racism coming out of the other side of it. And here, what is this? What is this? Discussion in recent years for the influence on media platforms. Let's see. Did I hear about the Democratic manosphere trying to replace it called new? Yeah, I saw that dumb shit, man. They're not doing anything. Ain't nobody going for that. They're a bunch of buck broken cucks who can't get out of their own way. Voted for a party that just continues to oppress folks. I don't understand why they don't get it. All right, they were already damaged. Why is it our job to fix these people? What happened not being their fault when it was mental health? Exactly. You know, all of a sudden the mental health excuse goes out the window. Hey, we got somebody to blame now. It was the manosphere. And they throw their cape on and they fly over here and try to point their fingers at us like we're the bad guy when we're the ones trying to fix a lot of the dudes that's in here who watch our channels. We're trying to fix, the issues. Like they don't know which way to go or how to get out. We got answers for them. And a lot of us have spent our own personal time to meet with some of these folks and actually help them. So why is that so bad? Every time it comes to doing something for men, people frown upon that shit. Look at what happened with My Brother's Keeper. The minute they came out with My Brother's Keeper to give folks, black men scholarships and apprenticeships and internships and all that shit, they started suing the shit out of the administration for that. And then they had to open it up to everybody. Why does that always happen to us? But the one thing we can do that's not bound because it's not a government entity, it's not bound by the same rules, is come out here on the Manosphere and put our own things together. You got the Black Manosphere meetup, the Black Manosphere conclave. You got folks teaching stuff online, teaching courses online. You got people like myself putting the information out there so that brothers can take advantage of it, because now you can't sue me for not being a government organization for discrimination if I gear my content towards a certain audience. There's nothing you can do about it. I remember KS working with men to improve themselves for better before he ever went viral. That's a fact. That's a fact. He did his damnedest to try to improve. He did. My favorite video that he did was the one where he was in the car. He was like, "You belong here." I think I downloaded and saved it on my computer. You belong here. That was probably the most powerful video I think he did. Like that was way after he did all the videos talking to men first, but that was like during his rise. I remember that. And I even went back and watched some of his older stuff. We was talking about the fragrances, this, that, and the third. And I bought a lot of those fragrances. I started cleaning up a lot of the things that I did. I was like, man, I wish I had found these before the Average at Best video, because that's around the time when I found them for real. I mean, I was already into red pill content, but then that Average at Best came up. I was like, oh, we got something here. Oh, this is special. But yeah, I mean, all the things that we've done in this space, and we keep shouting it from the mountaintops about, even continuing on with KS's work as far as working on men, because that's where my focus is. these people will still try to shout you down. They wrote 4 volumes in 2 years. 4 volumes. They got what, $2.7 million to write this bullshit that is 70% AI generated. Just to tell people how terrible we are without talking to any of us. When you make, and I keep going back to this example, when you make mediocre tutorial and reviews sound like Andrew Tate, we got a problem. We got a problem. We definitely gonna have a problem. He is probably one of the nicest guys in this space as far as how he conducts himself, about his content, stuff like that, and what he says online. He's probably one of the nicest. Kevin Samuels, I would say, was probably, a couple steps up. And then you had Tommy, who was the fucking flamethrower. Neither one of those men, none of the men in the space are even close to Tommy's level, but they're trying to make us all at Tommy's level. They're trying to make us Andrew Tates out here. All right, so here we go. Measuring hate speech against social media platform policy. This is what I was talking about. Hang on, I said, and remember, WS and Sergeant Noir had hand in hand. So when you hear one, they're speaking on, yep. And that's all they're trying to do. They're trying to use the same language across the board. They're trying to use the same language across the board. So no matter who says it, who does what, we're all the same. So that none of us look different. So when they smack one of us, they get us all. That's all they care about. They don't want us speaking at all. But this is what I was talking about when I said that hate speech on social media platforms. So by putting out these reports and giving it to lawmakers so they can see their research and taking it under consideration, and especially to give it to these larger platforms so they can start sculpting their social media policies in a way that's favorable to them. So everything that we say now is considered misogyny or hate speech. It's to the point, like one of the best examples I can give you is TikTok. Somebody called me a damn slave on TikTok. And when I responded back to him with a comment, I got a strike on my account. They said that what I was saying was hate speech. Now, mind you, this was a female who said something to me. And I responded back. Can't remember what that response was, but it was something, real witty and shit. I'm slick like that sometimes. And I got a strike on my channel for that. Where's the fairness? If everything I say is hate speech, what about everybody else? Are they incapable of saying such things? I mean, you called me a bullet bag. Is that not hate speech? Insinuating that all we good for is getting shot? I mean, seriously. So, I mean, this, like, basically in this category, in this paragraph right here, all they want to do is influence the social media policies. Pretty soon it'll be against the law to be a man. Yeah, Tommy was a Bowser level LOL, but he didn't wish for exactly. I mean, Tommy was so raw with what he was saying. Like it'd make your head explode. I was wild at some of the shit that he would say. I'm like, it's messed up, but he right though. And you have to laugh at it. Like, damn, he right, but god damn, bro. And he had excellent examples for everything. I mean, that was just his thing. All right, so let's see. To address this issue, it is essential to first identify and understand the core phrases and terminology. So they basically paying attention to everything we're saying in the space, our code words, the innuendos that we use to describe certain situations, because we got to use coded language, because you can't use plain English on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, nothing anymore. You got to use coded language to get your point across so you don't alert the damn the censors out here, and they flag your content. And it only happens to us. I've never heard of a female in this on the opposite side saying that her comments were getting flagged for whatever she was saying. But remember, Married Before You Carry was the first thing. White's yeah, exactly. Carry was the first thing in white supremacist documentation. Exactly. That's a white supremacist talking point. Marry before you carry. Man, oh, Jesus. All right, so here we go. They got to our pill terms. Red pill, black pill, describe a new truth of the world. Manifest vocabulary serves multiple functions. Pill terms such as red pill, blue pill, derived from pop culture, but are repurposed to signify specific ideological beliefs about gender dynamics. Okay. Not only does it signify gender dynamics, it also signifies social dynamics. They left some shit out here. Red pill, truth of the world, society, how things operate, so forth. Blue pill are people who don't pay attention to nothing, who are absolutely blind to what's going on around them. Just like when I try to tell folks that there's a bridge where we live where years ago, the tolls on this bridge were supposed to pay for the bridge. And once the tolls paid for the bridge, the tolls would stop. It's been 15 years. That bridge has been paid for, and nobody paid attention to it. When I bring it up, people are like, hey, like, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, you remember when they passed the bill to fund this bridge, right? It's like they would do it for X amount of years, and once the bridge is paid for, then the tolls will go away. Well, here it is 15 years later. They're still tolling you on the same bridge. How did y'all not notice? Blue pill. That is blue pill. And that's a societal thing. All right, here we go. Black pill and white pill are based on social perspective. I see they're trying to miss the point intentionally. That's exactly what I'm pointing out. They missed the point. But to the uneducated people who don't hang out in the space, this right here is gospel. This would be gospel to them. If we didn't address this and talk about this, nobody would call it out. And I found the whole diverting hate thing and all that. I found it by accident. I was watching Machismo TV and they were talking about it. They alluded to it, and then I was like, you know what? Let me go look. While I was listening, and I went looking, searching through X, found the volume 2 or 3 or whatever it was. And then went and found the other 2 volumes, and including in this one, and we've been chopping it up about it. And then I went and did some more digging. Like, these folks are funded by the DHS. And they're so tight-lipped, there's nothing on their website. You got to get everything you get from LinkedIn, and you got to get it from this document, which is linked in the description below if you want to read it. But yeah, that's just what they do. They purposely mischaracterize everything we do in this space just to serve their own agenda. That's why they brought in the incels. They brought in the Andrew Tates of the world. They brought in MGTOW. They brought in all these different people that's carrying out all these acts of violence. And they try to put everybody together just to vilify this entire space. Anything associated with manosphere, if we let this shit go unchecked, would be tainted by people like this. Memes play a significant role. Okay. Using humor, satire, draws bystanders and disarms them, facilitates a quick spread of ideas, thus making complex or controversial views. No. Memes are quick and convenient and convey a point, because a lot of people do not want to read an 84-page report like I'm doing now. So if I post Patrick with the board nailed to his forehead and I post a witty caption at the bottom to illustrate how stupid some people are, it gets the point across. And then they talk about how social media monitors misogyny. Now, we know Facebook has a team of people who look through every damn thing, and it's annoying because even if you post something innocent, sometimes you would get caught up in it. On TikTok, you post a damn clown symbol in one of your replies, your comment gets held for review. Or you matter of fact, you post certain icons. Like, I posted a trash can. I was like, that person is straight, and I posted a trash can. I got a strike for that. I posted a clown symbol. My comment was under review because of the clown symbol. They are so tight with some of the things they got on there. But when it comes to Keisha and the shit that she say and talking trash, calling you the N-word with the hard ER or whatever on these platforms, they don't do nothing at all. But the minute you say something that they don't like, oh, you best believe your comments are going under review. You might receive a strike. They might even take your video down. They will definitely get you. I got so many strikes on TikTok. I'm pretty sure my account is going down any day now. Any day now, my TikTok is going to be gone. Under the same name, No News Podcast. You'll find it on there. And all I do is post replies on there. I use these people for content. I got a few videos up there that I screen recorded. If you didn't see the one about some of the shit they make, you want to talk about stuff they make up, like this document is shit they make up. I got another example for you. One of the videos that I put up was a screen record. It's about an hour and a half long. You don't have to watch the whole thing, but there's a brother on there. I screen recorded an hour and a half of his live stream. He probably was on there for like 4 hours, where he was talking about black men asking for child support forgiveness, 50% child support forgiveness if they vote for Kamala Harris, but under the condition that you have to get a vasectomy. In order for them to take 50%, he was like, we're going to have to get that sack. Talking about making shit up. And before that, he posted a live stream before that saying the same thing, that we're asking for child support forgiveness. Like who? I got a short saying the same thing, like the short where he actually said it. We're not asking for any of that. So here we go. Over the past 2 years, significant changes have been made to the social media policies. Okay, yeah, we're aware of that. We are very well aware of that. Dog whistles by X to 24 policies against hateful content. Dog whistles aimed at combating hateful content, unlike other platforms. X acknowledges the presence of implicit. I mean, I get it. You know, there are some crazy shit that goes on X, but it is what it is. Emerging loopholes. Of course, we got to find loopholes because we can't say what we're going to say without y'all flagging everything that we do. Please allow the spread of hateful, misogynist content on certain platforms, Meta, Twitch. Reddit has been crazy about this. Some of my favorite platforms on there was taken down because they can't handle the truth, because they can't handle what men are saying. Same thing. The let's see, the Red Pill forum that was on there got taken down. The MGTOW, all that got taken down. And then there's a whole subreddit called Against Hate subreddit, where they post links to each subreddit that they don't like, and all the thousands of people that's on there will go through and mass flag the entire subreddit to get it taken down. And the same thing is going on TikTok. I happened across a list where somebody even threatened me and said, hey, yo, you're going on the list. And I seen a screenshot for somebody's DMs where they got all these people on this list, and they just share the list, and people go to those pages and mass report. So not only do we got to worry about the platform itself, we got to worry about the human element of it, because they don't like the way we're talking, taking down people's channels and taking down your accounts on other platforms. Dehumanization versus objectification. The distinction between dehumanization, objectification is crucial in combating various forms of hate speech, are delineated more clearly by Meta compared to other platforms, which often exhibit overlapping definitions or prioritize discussions on dehumanization and not objectification. Okay. Oh boy. Here we go. Go on Instagram and hit the search bar. The first thing you're going to see is butt cheeks. So who's doing what? Is it us doing it? Because I guarantee you, we're not forcing these people to show off nothing but skin on these platforms. If you hit the search bar on TikTok, same thing. You're going to see a bunch of people scantily clad or whatever, women mostly, and we have nothing to do with that. So how is that our fault? Like how do we get lumped in with this shit? And you call it dehumanizing, when these people are free to do whatever they want and choose and show their bodies or whatever, and somehow we're the ones objectifying them when they're doing it to themselves. Please make that make sense. All right, number 4, clarification around doxing. I don't believe in doxing. I think that we should stick to the content. Don't be out here trying to post people's address. Somebody's going to get hurt. I get that. I'm not going to argue with that. Brigading, bi-grading, dogpiling, and platform targeting. Despite some progress, terminologies like bi-grade, dogpiling, off-platform targeting initially reduced in YouTube's policy in 2022, notably absent or less emphasized subsequent policies in 2024. Okay. So if this means stream what do you call it? Stream rating and stuff like that, I'll tell you who started this. It was a female by the name of Pokimane. She started that shit on Twitch. Anybody she didn't like, she would have them raid their stream to the point where they started a whole policy about stream rating. And there's only certain type of way you can raid. She also did it on YouTube. And then when people did it to her, she started telling her audience to target their channels. And then some of those channels got terminated. So again, how does this relate to us? We're not the ones being misandrous going after people. We're just speaking our content. We may take snippets from your platform and some dumb shit you said, and we're going to put it on display for everybody to see. All right. Overview of policy. Let's skip all the way down. They talk about Reddit and all these other platforms where they talk about the changes. You can find this on page 62 of the document. TikTok, we're not even going to talk about TikTok. TikTok is extreme. Twitch, with all the shit that Twitch does, I don't even understand this shit. What Twitch does is they have the loose. It's like Twitch is like OnlyFans with extra steps. Let's be honest. Twitch is OnlyFans with extra steps. Those folks be on there damn near naked with blurred out screens, pushing the envelope as close as you can get to a policy, and you worried about the way I talk about people. Hell, I got a strike last year? Or it was earlier this year for that damn Cynthia G video. I got a strike. I couldn't post. It was like I couldn't violate any terms or whatever until this strike was lifted. This warning was lifted until June. For pointing out that Cynthia G and Miss Pearly things needed to be demonetized because of the things they were saying. First of all, Miss Pearly was a grifter. She was inviting racist people on her platform. She was stealing our talking points. I had a problem with that. And people elevated her like she was the best thing since sliced bread. And then you had Cynthia G, self-explanatory. She called us everything under the sun. Wigatron was the 4-star general leading that army of fucking brats before the Sprinkle Lady got popular. If she had stayed on YouTube, Sprinkle Lady would have never made her rise. So here we go. You can read those for yourself. All right. Conclusion. Now that we're up, that's the conclusion of that section. Team and credits. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe it wasn't 84 pages. But yeah, it jumps from, what was that, 83, 63? Yeah, it jumped from 63. They omitted a bunch of information. That's what that tells me. So if this wasn't a copy and paste job, like none other, this looks no different than the first volume that they put out. But here we are, 2 years later, last and final piece of the document. And that's where they leave it. That's where they leave it. Damn what we've done good in this space. Damn crediting us for saving a lot of young men's lives. I've seen the post on community tabs. I've seen the post on the videos where a lot of these young men have come back and said, hey, you've saved my life. You've given me hope. You've done this. You've done that. And I'm not even talking about my platform. I'm talking about others I follow. I've actually seen this. I've seen the testimonials. I've seen what other people have done for the men in this space. I've seen it. But yet these people spent so much energy because we already know who they're going to target first, which is why we talk about it. We know who they're going to target first. We know who they're going to come after first. We know we're gonna have to fight our ass off, which I'm not scared of these people. I don't have enough subscribers to be even remotely nervous. Even if I had 100,000 subscribers, I would not even be nervous about this at all. Because I'm gonna speak my piece. Damn, speaking your truth, I'm speaking my piece on the matter. These people spent our tax dollars, and for what? To blatantly lie to your face? We have nothing, none of us here have anything to do with what they're talking about. You named a whole organization Diverting Hate, and all you've did was direct hate at us. All you've done is waste our money, waste our time, waste resources if you used any. You've tried to affect policy. You've tried to influence the men in this space. You've tried to replace us. As a matter of fact, I noticed that they didn't even, you got the McCain Institute, the Middlebury Institute. What I noticed is that y'all didn't include the people y'all diverted, y'all quote unquote spent the money diverting hate to. As a matter of fact, let me come all the way down, because in the other documents, let's see. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. As a matter of fact, let me go up here. Let me see if I can find my community tab here. Go to my community tab. Because I don't want to pull out, probably the fastest way I can pull up this document. All right, here we go. Community tab. Let's go to volume 3. All right, here we go. So in volume 3, oh shit, tripping. Let me zoom in a little bit. So in volume 3, this is what they were supposed to do. See, they are obsessed with people like Andrew Tate. Scares the shit out of these people. He's not even as relevant as he used to be. So what they were doing is, like I said, for the folks who watch YouTube or any other platform, there's a way to get these ads to where they will show up as some type of little info block in the corner of your video, or they will show up on the side in your website. There's a bunch of stuff that they could do with these ads, like in between videos. You know how they show those 10, 15-second ads? These are the people they were directing you to. They will run these ads for these folks. And if you go to Google ad transparency, if you Google ad transparency, they come up with the website for Google ad services, and you could type these entities into that search bar, and it would tell you where they're running ads. I did this once before in a video earlier. I'm not going to do it here today, but when you really look at it, look at all the effort these people went into to give us Manosphere Light. And going back to this comment, hang on, where was it? Let me go back up. Hang on, let me bring this over here. Going back to the comment that Mr. Bloody put in here. I think it was him that said something about it. And so they tried to direct us to some Democrat manosphere or something like that. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. Going back to this comment right here. No, that was Cortez. My bad. Did you hear about the Democratic manosphere? They're trying to replace us. They're called the New Black Men. That's about as bad as that other organization we did the video on, where they claim to be an organization for black men, but then when you start digging into them, they're really not. They're really not. And I'm trying to think of what that other organization was. It was they have a YouTube channel. It's like Black Men something, but yeah, I'll find it later. But yeah, they would sit there And they would post these videos saying that they're the real black men you should follow. But then when you go back to some of their earlier videos, it's a bunch of Keisha worship. A bunch of black women as God and the Queen Mother Earth and all that bullshit. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, no. Because if that was the case, they've been by themselves forever and they could, I don't know, maybe fix that community that they complain about. But yeah, this is volume 3. As you've seen, volume 4 started off the same way. Volume 4 started off the same way. Let me see if I can find it here. Yep, there we go. The Real World former member. Hang on, where did it go? And who ran Real World or the all those other websites? That was Andrew Tate. That was all Tate and his brother. See, they were obsessed with him. Like I said, they scared the hell out of them because Andrew's reach was a lot further than ours. But it's too late. The cat's out of the bag, smoke's out of the bottle. There's nothing you can do about it. He served his purpose. I don't rock with him, but he served his purpose to push those talking points further into the homes of everybody. You got young teenage boys, as far as middle school, who was rocking with Andrew Tate when he was popular. And that's what scared them. They had teachers coming out against Andrew Tate. I mean, if a young boy can see what we see, is that considered misogyny? The fact that this country doesn't give a shit about young men and boys? It's like you're nothing until you become useful to everybody. Unless you got some money, you got some status, you got some type of power. And we're just simply saying, no, that's not it. You can live a good life. You can achieve your goals. All you need is a little bit of guidance, something that your father should have been able to teach you. You're amongst men. You're amongst your peers. Those that want nothing better while we're competing with each other and we're competitive. We want to see you get off to a good start. Unlike the other spaces out there, we care about one another to a certain point. We at least want to see you do good. Want to see you get off to the right path. I would like to see nothing more than every young man out there be successful. Have a family. Have children of their own without being subjected to the system. That's why we exist. We don't exist to be like Andrew Tate. We're just regular guys who want to put our communities back together, put our families back together, put this country back the way it was. But most of all, we just want folks to stop lying. That's what we want. That's what we want the most. We don't want to be labeled as the bad guy. We don't want to be misogynist because y'all say so. That's all we want. But anyway, I've been on here long enough. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. And I'll catch y'all sometime next week. Peace.